Okay, the next thing we're going to look at here is this little two-column layout I put in here. A couple of things. the you know it's breaking and there's two lines left over in column two. That's not awful. It's not bad. If you do have a situation where you only have one line at the top of the column, that is something to address. I was playing around with this earlier, and this will kind of like fix itself. You'll see what I mean here. So anyway, like if you got like one line breaking to the top of the next column, that's something that has to be addressed. Another thing that you have to look at is when one word is on its own line. That's something you should take care of, especially again with like a one-page layout. Now, if this was like a 900-page book, are we going to care about this? No, we're not. If it's a very extensive document, are you going to go into this much detail? No, but a lot of your projects, both in school and professionally, will be like brochures or flyers or mailers, or websites, right? So where you're basically looking at like basically a one-page layout. So these things have to be addressed. So anyway, let's take a look here. We got two hyphens consecutive. That's not a good thing. We got one word by itself. So maybe we can like take care of this all at once if we just track all this stuff in. So I'm going to select all this. And sometimes this doesn't work, you got to like play around with stuff here. Okay, so I got that selected. I'm going to go up to the tracking, and I'm just going to click once down to track it in, and that's cool. It looks nice, right? Okay, and if we look here, the tracking is at -10. Well, this is fine. Actually, the word buttons is hyphenated, but let's not worry about that. This looks good as it is, right? The try to get the lowest number, or get the number closest to 0 for tracking. That's what I meant to say, not lowest number, the number closest to 0. So let's come up to this parameter here, and let's stick -5 in there just to see if that works. And when I did, this was just pure luck. It got rid of that this buttons thing, and it also it looks a lot nicer. Okay, so again, let's put it. So like you want the tracking adjustment, you want them as minimal as possible. Okay, so if we look at the choices here, once you start getting into like -25 or +25, you're really pushing it. For body text, for display type, you can use these as a design tool. Like you might want to have a title that's way tracked out and it looks really cool or something. For body text, you want to be hovering around, between +10 and -10, right? Okay, but there's always exceptions. It's not a perfect science. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Well, one thing that happened was we only got one line up here. That's great. So let's check this out. And look, lo and behold, here we have one line, one little tiny word on its own line. That is not good. The word details on its own line you could kind of live with, but this, just a little runt word like this with this big negative space on a one-page layout, not good. So we got to do that. And also, lo and behold, we have a hyphen here. Maybe we can, again, take care of this all at once if we just track this in. So let me click once. Oh, -10 wasn't enough. Uh-oh. Let's see. So let's try -11. I'm surprised it didn't work, actually. -11 doesn't work. Oh, I'm really pushing it now. Let's see, -20. Pulled it all in. I really don't want to go that far, but I might have to. Yep, -15 isn't working. -18 works. that is like at the limits of where I would go with that. Like if I had to go to like -25, I would have to think of something else. Possibly just like learn to live with it, you know. So it's like a trade-off. If I had to like really scrunch together the tracking for this, I would have just said, well, that's life. I got to have the word fonts on the bottom, you know. So it's like a lesser of two evils. But what's cool though with that, even though this tracking might be a little bit, it's really not noticeable. It looks good. It looks pretty good. But notice it took care of this one line at the top of the other column. So again, it's like this. A lot of this stuff that you're going to do with copy fitting, it's really a trade-off. You know, like what looks best. You know, what's working best, what's looking best, etc., etc. So that's that for that little part there. And in the next video, we'll go to page 2. So save your file. And I'll see you then.